What's up guys, this is Miasin, and today I am extremely excited to show you guys my Raizeol combo video and deck profile. It took a while because this was announced a while back, but ever since it was announced, I was really looking forward to making a video on it because it reminds me a lot of Mathmech, which is a deck that I like a lot. It's a deck that I find to be really technical, even though people play it linearly. This deck is a rank 4 turbo deck, and it can't really do anything else because you're locked under rank 4 Xyz monsters for the rest of the turn after using pretty much any Raizeol effect, which is completely fine because the rank 4 toolbox is one of the best in the game, so I will take that any day of the week. This deck is very good under Shifter. As a matter of fact, you can play Shifter yourself if you really want to, and you can just do a bunch of nasty things. This deck is super consistent, you will pretty much never break, and it has inherent answers to floodgates such as Skill Drain, because you can go for the X Raizeol, the card that you're seeing right here, and then send Mirrorlogic Aggregator from the extra deck to the graveyard to summon it, and then Aggregator can negate the Skill Drain. So you can just do a bunch of nasty things like that. You can just all kinds of floodgates. So yeah, this deck is super beautiful, super enjoyable to play with, and there's just so many things that I want to showcase with this deck, but I will especially show them in the spreadsheet video if this video can get 1,000 likes. So yeah, you already know what to do. Smash the like and subscribe button, but also before we go any further, a huge shout out to my sponsors, Inspire TCG as well as Dueling. Make sure to check out their Ultimate Saints collection. They have the best Dragon Ball playmats, deck boxes, and art cards, and use the coupon code YASIN666 for 5% off. The link will be in the description, and with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, X Raizeol, one card combo beats Nibiru, absolutely beautiful, right? So you're gonna be sending the Aggregator or anything, but Aggregator is a good material to have later on. You can also send a Raizeol Xyz monster. There is a merit to doing that because it means that the dual drive, when you summon it, can detach it back from the graveyard. I'm assuming that you don't know what these cards do, but if you do, then you understand what I'm saying this. Anyways, overlay for the Rafflesia as soon as you can, because this card can send Gravedigger's Hold to negate any monster effect activated in your opponent's hand, graveyard, or banished. And then you also burn your opponent for 2,000 life points, so that's kind of nasty. And this card is unaffected by trap effects while it has materials, so even if your opponent has like Nib, Imperm, it's not gonna work. It's still gonna do absolutely nothing. But yeah, overlay for your dual drive, and then we get nibbed, we can send a Gravedigger, and then burn our opponent for 2k, and then use the effect of dual drive, detach 2 materials. Even if our opponent had the Ghost Ogre here, we can negate that, so if our opponent has any one hand trap, it just doesn't do anything. But yeah, this card is going to be searching 2 cards, which is going to be the field spell as well as the plugin. The plugin is a monster reborn and also attaches one Raizeol monster from the deck to one of our Xyz monsters. So even if one of our monsters is out of material, no worries, it's not the end of the world. And it attaches to any rank 4 Xyz monster you control, so even your non-Raizeol monsters, they can still benefit off of that free material. Anyways, the Node Raizeol is also a monster reborn by pitching any card from the hand or field to the grave, but it negates the effect of whichever monster you summon, which is not the end of the world, because usually we're just going to be using it as a material right away. And we can go for the Dreadnator, which is pretty much the MVP of the deck. This card has 3 effects, so the first one is not once per turn, not hard or soft once per turn. As long as you have materials, you can keep using it. So when your opponent activates a card effect, a quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 card on the field, destroy it. That is absolutely nasty. And also the other 2 effects are hard once per turn. So if this card is special summon, you can attach 1 monster from your grave to this card as material. This can work really well with cards like Mirrorlogic Aggregator, because again, it gets this effect generically just when it's sent to the graveyard. And if an Xyz monster you control would be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can detach 1 material from this card instead. So even if your opponent has Regeki, it's not going to do too much because you can just protect all of your monsters from the Regeki. Anyways, you're going to be attaching back your Aggregator, and then field spell, shuffle back 2 Raizeol cards from the graveyard into the deck, and then draw 1 card. And just like that, you have a decent amount of interruption, so the Dreadnator can destroy 3 cards, and then it's also going to be detaching the Aggregator, which is going to be negating another card. And then the Dual Drive is just a follow-up for next turn, and the Rafflesia can send the Raizeol Trap Hole, which is kind of like a Treacherous Trap Hole, because you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Raizeol Xyz monsters we control. So we can destroy 3 face-up cards. I don't know if it's like Raizeol Xyz or it's just like rank 4 Xyz. I think it's Raizeol Xyz, but I could be wrong. Either way, it's a really good card. So yeah, this is a very nice end board off of just 1 single card. That is also Nibiru proof, so I will take it any day of the week. Anyways, let's get into combo number 2 now. Alright, so this time we have a little different combo because we're not going to be going into either X or Ice Raizeol. Those cards are pretty much the exact same in terms of result. But Sword Raizeol is also very good, even though, like I said, it's different. It's pretty much the exact same thing in a way. So Sword Raizeol is going to be searching for the X Raizeol, and then we're going to be pitching the Aggregator in order to search the summon itself and then search the Sword Raizeol. Then overlay for the Dual Drive, which is going to be detaching 2 materials. Get your hands on the Raizeol Cross as well as the plugin. And then we're going to be reviving back the X Raizeol off of the plug and give a material to Raizeol Cross. So far, this is exactly 4 summons, so we're safe from Nibiru. And then if we summon another 5th monster, then we can get hit by Nibiru. We cannot do anything about it. We have to let it resolve. But on the resolution, Raizeol Cross is an interesting card that also bypasses Ghost Ogre because it doesn't activate. It just happens. So it's a continuous effect where when an opponent's activated monster resolves, you can detach 1 material from a Raizeol Xyz monster you control, and if you do, negate that effect. So we can negate that Nibiru just like that, and again, Nibiru Ogre would not beat us here. So that's one of the beautiful things about this card. And then we can overlay for the Dreadnator, get back Aggregator, and then draw 1 card. So yeah, we don't have the Rafflesia, but it's still a really good combo, and we get access to the field spell very early before we get the 5th summon, which you can say is a really good thing. Maybe a little less good than the X and Ice Raizeol combos, but still, nonetheless, I will take it. Now, another really cool thing about this deck is that even if you just draw 2 level 4 monsters that you can summon on your field, you can still combo through Nibiru. So again, this deck is just super consistent. So yeah, first things first, if you got a card like Sakitama, for example, really good extender in the deck, you can summon it, and then summon another monster. It could even be like the Molchami monsters like Furaros and Purolia, and then make your duo drive, get your field spell, as well as the Sword Raizeol, special summon it because we control a Raizeol monster on the field or in the grave. That's the reason why the combo I just showcased, we had to normal summon the Sword Raizeol. It is unfortunate because usually you want to special summon this card so that you can normal summon the Ice Raizeol. But yeah, now the Ice Raizeol is not going to be a really big part of the combo because we already used up our normal summon. Anyways, now we successfully get hit by Nibiru, which is not the end of the world. We were going to be threatening it with the Rafflesia. We can recover from Nibiru. So again, that's just to give you an idea of how super resilient this deck is. And then make this Node Raizeol, revive back your sword, and then go for the Dreadnator, get back the Aggregator, and then draw 1 card with a field spell, and just pass turn there. That's good enough because even though the Dreadnator has 3000 attack and Nibiru has 3000 attack, it will not beat us because we can detach material to protect ourselves. And then our opponent will still struggle against all the materials of Dreadnator to pop cards and also the field spell to negate a monster effect. So again, all of that with just 2 level 4 monsters through a Nibiru that actually resolved. It's not like we had to cheese it with Rafflesia or the field spell. It really just speaks volume on how fantastic this deck is and just how many options you have. Because even if your opponent has combination of hand traps, you can still play through them with a combination of cards in your hand. That's it for the combos. Let's get into the deck profile now. Alrighty, for the deck list, I think even if you don't understand the deck, you can easily understand why this deck is ultra consistent. Because obviously I'm playing a huge amount of non-engine cards and a pretty big amount of 1-card starters as well. So 3 Ice Raizeol and 3 X Raizeol, these are the Pyro monsters. These are obviously the best cards to open in the deck. They're pretty much on the same level of brokenness, but I want to say X Raizeol is even better to open than Ice Raizeol, because if you're going second, then this card just beats boards very quickly. Whereas Ice Raizeol, if you just have that and nothing else, you go normal summon effect, then you get imperm, and then you pretty much pass. But you have so many extenders that it usually just doesn't matter. And there are Pyro monsters, so you can also search them with Bonfire, so that's even better. So yeah, obviously you want to max out on them, and then 3 Sword Raizeol as well as 1 Node Raizeol. These are the Fire Thunder monsters because you can search your Fire Thunder with X Raizeol, and you can search your Light Pyros with Sword Raizeol. So there's kind of like 2 families of Raizeol monsters. There's also another Raizeol monster that I do not play. I think it sucks. I think it's a Light Pyro, but it's just really bad. So yeah, or it might even be like a Light Thunder or something weird. No, actually a Fire Thunder. There we go. I completely messed that one up. But yeah, Sword Raizeol, another decent normal summon. It's not like super full combo. It only ends on 2 Xyz monsters, which is still very good, but it's not like 3 Xyz monsters. And then the Node Raizeol is not a starter at all. It's just an extender, and it's not the kind of card that you want to play as multiples because it's very easy to recycle back with your field spell and revive back with your plugin. So 1 copy should honestly be enough. And obviously the 3 Bonfire, the 3/7 Tachyon. You can search any of your level 4 monsters either by revealing the Masquerade or the Battling Boxer Star Cestus, because this is a rank 4 fire for these cards, and this one is a rank 4 light for these cards. and you can also search 7 Tachyon with 7th Ascension, 8 spell cards that can search your starters, and then 9 other starters, so 12, 15, 17 1-card combos in a 40-card deck list. That's like a 95% chance of getting your engine started, which is a lot. And then we also play some undesirable cards to draw, I guess you can say. Node Raizeol, not the best to draw. The Hole Thruster, which again is a normal trap hole. I mean, it's not a trap hole, but it's a whole trap card. Yeah, you can send it with Rafflesia, which is kind of crazy. And also the graveyard effect is insane because you can overlay for an Xyz monster on either player's turn by banishing it from the graveyard. And you don't have to make a Raizeol Xyz monster either. You can overlay for like the Mathmech Laplacian. And yeah, the Gravedigger, you don't want to draw it either. So yeah, these two traps, not really good to draw. The Monster Reborn is fine to draw. The Field Spell is also good to draw. I will never complain if I draw this card. So yeah, honestly, this deck doesn't really play any bricks. And the other cards are just non-engine cards to help going second. So you can main deck all the Molchamis, and also these cards are level 4. So they have indirect synergy in the deck. Even if you draw them going first, they can be the discard fodder for, I don't know, the Node Raizeol, or you can place them back on the bottom of the deck with the 7th Tachyon. So it's not the end of the world. And if you're going second, these cards are Exodia, so I will absolutely take it. 3 Ash, which I don't know if... I mean, yeah, you still have to play 3 because it negates the Molchamis, so this card is always good. Now, the cards that I'm very iffy on, and these cards will most likely change over time. 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Ghost Ogre. I think Veiler and Imperm are going to phase out next format because there are so many decks that can easily play around them. And they're just overall very weak. Like, even against Mermail, for example, one Neptibus already kind of beats a Veiler because it stands for cost. So I might just not play these cards and play something else instead. Maybe main deck Shifter, because again, that's something that you can do. I'm not going to main deck Droll because it conflicts with the 2 Molchami monsters. So yeah, if I can play something else, then maybe. And Ghost Ogre, same thing. If I can play something else, I'm not 100% sure. It depends on the ban list. I don't think you want to play Bestial monsters in the deck, but you might be able to. It's just that you can't really use them for anything. Maybe you can play DD Crow. Maybe you can main deck like Dark Ruler, Evenly, Droplet, etc. That could work. I'm just not 100% sure because I haven't tested those cards. And it's not like I can't really test them because, again, we have to wait until we see the ban list in order to kind of get a better idea of what's ideal in this deck. But at least you have like a rough draft idea of what is optimal in terms of ratios. Anyways, for the extra deck Zeus, and then the 2 cards that you gotta reveal for the 7th Tachyon, you will never summon these cards because they're rank 4 monsters that require 3 level 4 monsters. And honestly, they're not even that good. I guess Masquerade is not too bad, but meh. Anyways, Aggregator, again, very good card, one of the best cards in the extra deck, even though you never summon it. It just, you send it with the X Raizeol. 2 Dreadnator, this card's insane. 2 Duo Drive, this card's generic, so it's even better. 1 Tornado Dragon, it gets rid of Floodgates and stuff. And also, Ghost Ogre makes outing Scale Drain even better, because now you make Tornado Dragon destroy your opponent's Scale Drain, and then you Ogre yourself, and then Scale Drain actually dies. Baguska, great option under Shifter. Castel, great removal card. Outs pretty much anything you want. And then Evilstorm Exciton Knight, this card's also extremely good when you're in a losing position. Abyss Dweller, obviously, that makes sense. When you don't have Shifter, you want to insta-win against Mermail. And then Traptrix Rafflesia, very good at sending your 2 Chapel cards. So this card always does something. I love Traptrix Rafflesia, it's so good. And also the fact that you send your Raizeol Hole Thruster from the deck to the graveyard means that you can use this graveyard effect to overlay on the opponent's turn, which is just nasty. And then obviously the Laplacian, which is the main card that I'm trying to summon with the graveyard effect of Hole Thruster. If I can summon it on my opponent's turn, it's even better. But yeah, anyways, obviously, that's, I think, the best way to play the deck, but there are obviously some other options that you have at your disposal. So again, if you want to play Shifter, you can do that. Thunder King, the Kaiju, you can search it with your 7 Tachyon. So this deck is, again, very reminiscent to Mathmech and how it has a small world in order to search Kaijus or Santa Claus and stuff like that. You can do the same thing with Thunder King because this is a level 9 light monster. So you can reveal the Neo Galaxy as Tachyon Dragon and then search this. And then put back 1 card from the hand on the bottom or top of the deck. I don't really know. Yeah, it's on the top of the deck, actually. Who cares? And you can also send Toad with your X Raizeol to recycle back a water in your grave. And if you already Kaiju'd your opponent and then send the Kaiju to the grave, then you can recycle it back. So that's not too bad, honestly. And if you have some water hand traps, then you can recycle them back as well. So either the Molchami Porelia, not that it matters, or you could also send Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood and then recycle it back. The only water hand traps that I can think of. The other ones, I don't even know if there are other water hand traps. Otherwise, they would have been super easy to search by the Mermail deck. Anyways, yeah, Sakitama, not necessarily sure if you need it because you got the 7th session to search your either a starter or extender, so that's the reason why this card is just not really needed. And even if you draw like 1/7 Tachyon and 1/7 Ascension. This card can just be like the card that you place back on the top of your deck with the Tachyon, so who cares? I don't really have to cover these cards, they're just more hand traps. Time Thief Redoer, very good against trap decks. Very annoying to out overall. Galling Draenei, this card can search Nibiru, so it's not too bad. Steel Swarm Roach, pretty good against decks that are Synchro summon based. And then Gaga Cowboy, it's just a joke. And then Utopia Double if you want to kill people. Rhapsody and Berserk, this card might have some applications. And Small World if you want to make this deck even more look like a Mathmech deck. But yeah, that's it for my Raizeol video. Obviously, it's not like this is going to be the only one. I have way more Raizeol content coming up very soon. I really like this deck. I think it has a lot of potential. And there's a lot of different ways to play it as well. Because a deck that has space for 18 non-engine, obviously has the space to play splashable engines as well. So yeah, maybe you can play like Exorcist or Raizeol. That might make sense, but not with Martha. Martha doesn't really do anything here. Maybe you can play like a very small package so that you can still summon Magnifica, but I don't know, it's like a rank 8 monster, so it kind of clashes with your other monsters, and also you're gonna lose really hard to Nibiru now, so I don't know if it's really worth it. Maybe pure Raizeol is the way to go. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.